Let me quickly share my screen. So today we'll focus on setting up Istio, and now this time I'll not just install Istio. Along with Istio there are some add-ons. Basically I'll talk about what are those add-ons and we'll install those add-ons as well. So those add-ons are basically nothing but the monitoring tool which I'll be installing while we set up Istio. Now hopefully you guys can see my screen. Okay, let's go in. So I have the cluster ready now. This is the cluster it looks like. Let me quickly check if it's running. That moves. Okay, this looks ready. Okay, now I don't have the Istio installed right now. So what I'll do, I'll go and install Istio first. So I'll go to the official website and I'll get the Istio from there. Let's go to the official website. Istio installation on Ubuntu. Getting started. This is the script basically. Let's go into that folder which got created. Along with it, we have to export the path and then run the Istio profile demo. Now profile demo will get you three things. It will get you the Ingress, it will get you the Ingress, and it will get you the Istio-D. Istio-D is nothing but the control plane which got the pilot, Galilee, and the third one. Okay. Now what? So that is what we have seen it yesterday. Istio. We got pilot, Galilee, and Citadel. Pilot is basically takes care of Envoy proxy configuration. Citadel will take care of the certificate and the keys for the communication. Galilee will have all the configuration. Okay, this is the control plane what we have along with the Envoy proxy. Envoy proxy is nothing but a network proxy. That is something we have seen it yesterday. Istio-D. So Istio-D will set up its own namespace. First, it will create a namespace called Istio-system, and in that all these services. So basically, these are the pods which will be getting executed. Will be set up. Now, if you go and see Istio kubectl get all and -n for namespace and Istio-system. See, these are the running pods which is running right now. Okay, now I was talking about add-ons. Like what are the add-ons? So let me run this command kubectl apply -f. If I go to the file add-on, so there is a file add-on in Istio. That is sample add-on basically. Okay, so these are some. So in this you get a YAML file. Now in this YAML file there are monitoring tools. Basically this is a complete package of monitoring tool which you will get when you do a setup. So monitoring tools such as you will get Prometheus, you will get Grafana, and all this monitoring tool which you will get it from here. So I'll just install those monitoring tool. I'll talk about the monitoring tool later. For now, let's go and install the monitoring tools. Now, if I run this, you see there are so many things got installed. You got Grafana, you got Zipking, you got Jaeger, you got Kiali, you got Prometheus. So these are all monitoring tools got created. Now this is a complete, what did I create? This is the complete package of monitoring tool which I have created. But if you don't want to create the complete package, you want to be very specific that I just want Kiali, Prometheus, Grafana, then you can simply go to this folder samples, add-ons, and you can just run one file at a time. What did I do? I executed the complete folder. Now you can just go and execute Prometheus. This is if you want to run Prometheus inside your Kubernetes. If you want to set up Prometheus separately, then even that is okay. This is Kiali, Jaeger, Grafana. These are all the YAML files which you can go and edit based on your requirement. Now, I'll talk about this monitoring later. For now, I've installed all this, and now this is all also got installed in the same Istio namespace. Now, if you go to the Istio namespace, you can see all these tools: Kiali, Prometheus, Tracing, Zipking. So what are these? So in this, we'll see three tools. We see Kiali. What is Kiali? What is Prometheus and what is Grafana? These are the three monitoring tools what we will see. But for now, if you see, these are the monitoring tool which is currently running in your cluster itself. Okay. So now let's come back to the home directory. Now let's go back to the use case. Okay, understood what all setup we did? We did the Istio setup, and along with Istio, there are sample add-on files which we have used for setting up the monitoring tools. Basically, the complete monitoring stack. We have done it. Now going back to the use case. This was a use case which we have discussed yesterday, two-tier application basically, wherein we have one Spring Boot, second Node.js. So the only time they interact with each other when there is a module called increment which is called. So whenever you want to do an increment, the calculation happens on Node.js basically. It does the automatically. There is a backend API call, that's +1 API call which happens. The calculation happens over here, and the revert is sent back to the Spring Boot web application. So this Spring Boot is your front end. This Node.js is your backend. Okay. Now this will be installed in one pod. This will be installed in one pod, and I'll show you how we can integrate Istio with it. Make sense, everyone? Oh, this was the use case. Now, how do we set up? This we have already done the setup, guys. Spring Boot. Remember when we were doing the CI Java Maven CI/CD? That is the same application. The only thing is extra additional we need to do is Node.js. So I'll not go and do the setup from scratch. I do have the images already. You guys can use the same image. For that, I need to go to my Docker Hub. Docker Hub login. So this is kept in my public repository, guys. So if you guys want to use it, you can surely go and use it. There's no stopping in between. So it's a Docker Hub account which I have created, and I kept this. Both the images, Java Maven, you have seen it. How do we build and release? It's the same Java numeric app. Okay, the only thing is I've created a Docker file also, and then I pushed things into my Docker Hub repository. These are my public repositories which you guys can use it. So the first thing is I can simply go and get this application on my local, get this image on my local, or if I don't do it, if I create a deployment.yaml file, automatically it will download. So there's nothing as such, guys, that you need to fetch the image. But let's make things very simple and let's get this running. I have Docker already installed, guys, so I don't need to install Docker because this is a Kubernetes cluster. So I'll need to do a pull, not push. Just do a pull. This will work on your system as well. Just do this pull. This name is important, guys. This is my Java application. Done. Same way I can do it for other also. This is my Node.js application basically. And in this Node.js, you have to be very specific. There are two versions of Node.js which I have in this. If you go to see all, that's only one. Okay, perfect. I might have deleted. Just make sure you mention V1 over here. Okay, when you're pulling Node.js. Access denied, sudo. Always use sudo when you're running Docker commands. Now, if you go back and see Docker images, so over here in this Istio setup, we'll be using all the expertise what we have learned, like Docker, running Docker commands, creating deployment.yaml file. All this expertise will be utilized over here. Okay, that's it. I got the image. Now I need to write deployment.yaml file. Okay, and service.yaml file for deploying all this. Now we have already written this, so I'll make use of that files itself. Only thing I need to go and edit those files. Let's use this one. So this same exact file will not work, guys. We may have to make some amendments. What exactly I'm doing? I'm setting up my Java application into a Kubernetes pods. Now this is good. Deployment, app deployment and naming convention is also good. I want to just have one replica, selector my app, it's okay. Template container, my image is okay. The name of the image is my image is okay. This needs to be changed. This will get changed with this is for Java, correct? This will get changed with this thing. Okay. Now this secret and all is not needed. And this Java application listens on which port? Let's go and see the diagram. This listens on port 8080. Okay, so this will change to 8080. Perfect. This is my Java. Let's name it as Java. App Java. Okay. Now, secondly, we need to have a service.yaml file also. Open this. Now, this is API version. Okay, service, metadata service. Let's name it as Java so that we know this is for Java. Type node port. Yeah, definitely, because it's a VM. I need to access this. And port should be 8080. Select my app. Looks good. Now, let's go and deploy this. I can have a deployment dot YAML created. Done. Now just run this kubectl apply -f deployment. Same way I need to create the service.yaml file. This is all we are repeating, guys. I've done it multiple times now. Hopefully, if anyone has any question, please do let me know. Service.yaml. Let me run this service.yaml also. Apply -f service.yaml. Okay. Now I got this all created in my default namespace, but if I want, I can have a separate namespace created and I can do things in the separate namespace also. Let's do it in separate namespace, guys. That will make more sense. So this is an all in default namespace. Let me do it in a separate namespace. Okay, let me delete this first then. kubectl delete this deployment. This service also needs to be deleted. Done. Now what I'll do, I'll create a new namespace, kubectl create namespace, name it as production namespace. Okay, and we'll have all this created in the production namespace. That will have more visibility because I need to inject Istio later, so that's why I'm just doing it in a different namespace. Get namespaces. Okay, we got this prod created, a different namespace created. Now I'll run this kubectl apply -f deployment.yaml file into prod namespace. -n prod namespace. I can define this namespacing in the deployment.yaml file also, or else you can pass on this way. Now this will be created inside prod namespace. Now it will not be in the default namespace. Apply -f service.yaml into prod namespace. Okay, now if I go and view this into my default kubectl all, nothing. Okay, now that is if I do it in prod namespace, you can see you got things running. Now quickly confirm the things are working as expected. Welcome to, do you see? Welcome to DevOps Mela. So we are getting, now there's one more module. There were two modules, correct? Compare and slash. Slash is working. Compare, if I do a quick comparison, compare with 50, I should get smaller than equal to 50. So this is good. Now the third module will not work, guys, in which incremental we are doing. So basically incremental will need Node.js. So let me just show you the error. Incremental, or it is increment 99. See the error, in and out error, get request. This API is not getting called because there is no service. You don't have Node.js application basically. That's why. So this is the error. So basically this is the only module which connects to Node.js and gets the calculation done on Node.js and the reply sent back to the by Node.js. Now if I want, I can go and set up that. I'll set up that later. For now, let me show you once we have this install on top of it. Istio. What will happen when we install Istio on top of it? As if now, if you go and see my, as if now if you go and go through the pod description, kubectl describe -n prod. If you go through the pod description, we just got one container running inside it. How do you know if it's only one container? You can go at the top, you can see the my image container ID, and this is only the one container, single container, which is running. And if you see this ready 11, okay. Now there is a tool called Kiali, a tool, Kiali tool, which we have downloaded. Kiali is basically gives you a animated view how the network is flowing from your services through your services. Okay, so that's why Kiali is comes with Istio when you're setting up Istio. So if you want to monitor what Istio is exactly doing, how the service mesh is working, then Kiali is the right tool which will give you a complete network topology view. Okay, the Kiali tool will give you a complete network topology view. By seeing Kiali dashboard, you can identify if whether the traffic is encrypted, whether traffic is not encrypted, whether Istio is set up, whether a sidecar container is set up or not, whether the application health is healthy, and whether the pod is running or not. All this can be done using Kiali monitoring tool. Okay. Now what we'll do, we already have Kiali. Now I'll just go and open that dashboard for you first. Then we'll see before and after, like before setting Istio and after setting Istio, how it looks. Okay. Now, in order to open the dashboard, if you go to get all -n Istio, this is the place where namespace where my Kiali dashboard is. Now, if you go and look into Kiali, I have one, see this, the Kiali services. Kiali is using a cluster IP service type. Okay. Now, how do I access this dashboard from outside? This is using cluster IP. Now with cluster IP, I definitely cannot access from my browser this Kiali dashboard. So what we need to do, can anyone suggest? What should I do if I want to access this Kiali from outside world?
You have to expose the port.
expose the port. How exactly we'll do it? I've done it yesterday.
You, you expose the port and you set the target. I forgot the other one, but you set two values. One is the internal port, and then
Mm-hmm.
you the target IP or target port X, which will create an external IP.
That's a load balancer type you're talking about, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, load balancer type will not work in this VM. Okay, so we need to have a node port type. So because I got the public IP assigned to this VM, so using that public IP, I can go and access this Kiali dashboard. Perfect, very good. Now let's go and edit this particular services. I'll use this command itself. Edit. Okay. Now let's come down. This type, I'll go and change it to node port. Excuse me. Okay, done. Now if we'll run the command get all, we'll see one port assigned to Kiali basically 30046. The first thing is you need to go and allow the inbound traffic rules. Name it as Kiali underscore dashboard. Okay, once this is done, we can open this with HTTP. And with the public IP, I can do a domain mapping also, and if I want to use my domain name, I can do that also. Now let's go and see. Yep, tell me.
The node port type is it allows you to use the IP address of the worker node. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
With this port, if you want to have some specific IP mentioned, that from which particular IP you want to access, you can do that also. So that is going more granular, and at the network level, you're putting more security. You can give a subnet range also, or you can give my public, because this is I'm accessing using from my public IP. You can go and add my public IP also there. All the options are available. Okay, now if you see this is a Kiali dashboard, very good looking dashboard. As if now it is viewing everything for you. Now from the top, if I want, this is a namespace, health, MTLS. This is basically a TLS authentication, so encryption, and then you got everything over here. This is a graph. As if it will not show anything to you right now because there's nothing inside. No application, nothing, no sidecar container, workloads, no workload, services, no services, nothing as of now. So it's not doing anything basically. If you go to your prod namespace, the graph is completely empty. Even though I have an application running in, see, I got my application. Do you see this error? Missing sidecar. So that means Istio sidecar is missing, not found. So there's no sidecar. In this workload, if you go and see, missing sidecar, missing version. There's nothing inside. This is your application, app Java. This is something we have deployed. Now, if I go inside this application, the graph is empty. I change it to 10 seconds. The graph will start popping up if I send some kind of traffic to my application, guys. So as of now, there's no traffic routing happening. But if I go and send some traffic, that is something I'll show you later. How do we send some fake traffic? At that time, you will see the graph also. Okay, there's no traffic right now. It's completely, and you got multiple display option, traffic rate. You got something called traffic animation. Okay, let's send some traffic, then you'll understand more. Okay, so how do I send some traffic? Basically, this is the command I want to execute again and again. What was the curl command? Not this, increment will not work. This compare will surely work. So if I can run this command again and again, so what will happen? A traffic will be sent to my Kiali, because as if now there's nothing happening, what Kiali will do. So how do we send? I can use mostly I can use a while loop. So we'll make use of scripting over here. I can make use of while loop. So what it will do, it will each second it will send some fake traffic, and it will try and hit my application endpoint. Okay, let me send this. Sleep for 1 second. Done. Let me check this while true to echo. Done. Okay. See what it will do. It is started sending dummy traffic to my application. Now we'll wait for some time. Then you might see some sort of graph now, if you're lucky enough. So this is only one application. I doubt. Traffic. It should at least show me some sort of traffic right now. No traffic. This is still showing idle. So this is your service which we have created, and this is the app. Okay, we don't have a sidecar container, that's why it's not showing anything right now. So let's go and inject the sidecar container now. So by default, your sidecar container will not be injected, guys. Now let's understand how a sidecar container will get injected. Okay, so there are multiple ways for injecting your sidecar container. One other way is checking the labels first. kubectl get namespace show labels. So at the namespace labels itself, we can go and inject sidecar containers. Now, if you see this, these are all my namespace. This is prod, kube system, Istio, but there is no Istio injection done. Now, if I want, that's why I've created a separate namespace, because at the namespace level itself, I'll go and inject my Istio. Now, what will happen if I inject at the namespace level itself? Any services or any resources which is getting created inside this namespace will have the sidecar container automatically. Post that, what will happen? It will have the sidecar container automatically. Now we already got something running inside the prod. Will that be replicated to Istio automatically? The answer is no, because it's already created. I'll show you how exactly it can be integrated with Istio later. For now, let's go and inject Istio, because this is the step you need to inject. Without injecting Istio, Istio will not get integrated with your services. Okay, so how exactly we can do that injection part? We can do it with kubectl label namespace prod, and then is Istio injection. This is the command. This is there on the official website of Istio, guys. Enabled. So by default, Istio will be disabled. It will not inject Istio, because what's injection is happening, it will create sidecar containers basically. So whatever new installation you're doing, it will automatically attach a sidecar container. You don't need to remember, you don't need to mention anywhere that a sidecar container needs to be attached. Automatically in the backend, it will go and attach the sidecar containers with this injection. Anything getting created inside the prod, it will have the sidecar container post that after this injection. Done. Now see the labels again. Do you see this istio injection enabled? We got this enabled now. Now by default, as I said, if I go and look into the kubectl get all prod, it's only one pod, there's no sidecar container. By default, as I said, it will not go and inject anything on a running container. Now how, if I want to inject anything to this particular pod, how do I do it? Now for this, I need to restart this deployment. I have to restart this deployment. Now how does the restart works? Very important question. So the restart will work. There is a command, I believe, kubectl rollout -h. Okay. Do you see this is in the rollout? You got something called restart. There is a command kubectl rollout. With rollout, there is an option called restart. Now, this is something you can make use of. kubectl restart rollout. Then you can make use of restart. And you want to restart your deployment. What is the name of the deployment? App Java, correct? This is the name of the deployment. Okay. kubectl rollout restart -n prod. Always -n prod because this is a different namespace, guys. Your resources are not there in the default namespace. So if you don't put this, this is the error what we get. No resource found. Okay. So it's always -n. Done. Restarted. Now let's go and run the command get all prod again. Do you see something now? 2 the one is getting terminated. What is this 2? From where this additional 2 came in? Additional pod came in. This is your sidecar container inside the same pod. So you got one pod, inside that pod you got 2 what? 2 containers running. Make sense? Anyone? Any doubt? Any question? What we're doing? Let's go and view this. kubectl describe. This is the pod I want to describe -n prod. Do you see this proxy created? We had only till here. Now this is the place where we are doing init my image proxy. Go back at the top, you will see 2 containers. Istio proxy, 1 container. This is the container which Istio has added. And then if you go, this is your application. So this is a sidecar container basically got integrated with your running application. This is done automatically by Istio. This is what sidecar containers are. Okay, you got the sidecar container. Now if I go back to my Kiali, refresh this Kiali and if I go back to my application, there's no missing sidecar, the error which you have seen it previously, that error is gone. Graph will still not be there because we are doing nothing inside this application. What this configuration is supported. If you see, MLTL is supported. I have nothing right now to show over here. See, the sidecar missing with the things which we had, that got removed. That error is removed now. Let's select the this is my prod namespace. We got 2 labels. Istio injection enable. If you see, it is visible over here that you have enabled Istio in this. Okay, so this is not showing much. Now I'll show you by setting up Node.js, because then there will be a communication between two different pods. At that time, it will show you the network traffic and it will show you more stuff. So what I'll do, I'll just edit this deployment.yaml file itself, or else I'll let me create a new one. Come to the notepad. Okay. Now what all changes I need to do it over here? Firstly, let's change the name, make it as app node.js. My app, just add node.js on front of it. Labels, my app hyphen node.js. This image name, my node.js. I'm just making the naming changes, guys. Okay, this thing needs to be changed. Let's run sudo docker images. This is what I want. Okay, now this will be v1. Don't miss this v1. Okay, and this listens on which port? Let's go to the ppt. Port 5000. Okay, okay, this looks good. Don't worry, I'll share this all documentation with you guys. I'll have to prepare this. I'll name it as node.js .yml. Okay, perfect. I need to create this kubectl apply -f node.js -n prod in the prod namespace itself. Created. I can even get this created on somewhere else, guys. There's no specific rule that you need to have in this prod namespace itself, but let's create inside the prod namespace only. I got this created. Now this service needs to be also created. My service, this naming, okay, whatever naming you gave till now, that's totally fine, that's totally okay. This naming convention over here, you should only have this name, node-service. Don't change this name. I'll tell you the reason, because my endpoints is listening on this particular name. It is looking for this name. My endpoint is looking for this name. So whatever you have changed till now, that's totally fine. But this naming should be exactly the same way. No uppercase, no lowercase, nothing as such. Okay. And the what is the selector? Node.js, my app hyphen Node.js. Okay. Understood, guys? This naming should not get changed. Why this? If I go and show you my Java application, this is the application which we're using. If you go to source main java com devsecops controller, do you see this base URL? It is node-service. So it is basically looking for this endpoint, node-service, port 5000. Okay. So make sure the naming is whatever naming I said, that is the same naming. If you don't do it, it will not work. Just keep that in mind. Service.node.js.yml. Okay, now let's go and execute this also. Kubectl create -f service -n prod. Done. Now go and check it. Kubectl get all -n prod. Now if you see this got created, and now this got Istio sidecar automatically attached to it. I've not done it. This has automatically got attached. Now we need to quickly verify things are the incremental part is working or not, because that is where the network will flow out of your pods to out of your pods to other pod. That is where we can see it in the graph later. Okay, so where is my node service? No, not node service. This is what I want. Curl, and then 8080. That is the request which will go on 8080, and increment by 99. Perfect. Do you see I'm getting output now 100? So there's a calculation happening on my Node.js app, and it is reverting that calculation. So things are pretty much working, and we got one more pod created, and it got Istio sidecar got injected. Let me just verify that if it is injected. Is describe pod -n pod. See, Istio init Istio proxy. This got injected. Now let's run the curl command again. Not curl, while loop. Okay, this is the while loop. The only difference I want to do is increment over here. Make it 99 so that I can getting 100. Okay, so there is a while loop which I have created. Let me send some more. Let me change this from 1 second to 0.5 so that some more traffic is sent across. Okay, now we have some more traffic. Now we can go back to Kiali dashboard and we can see the network flow. Where is my Kiali? Kiali. See, we started getting this inbound traffic. We got two applications. If I go to the applicant section, I got two applications. One my app, my node app. Do you see the health? Health of the application is healthy right now. If something changes, it will show it over here. You can go see in the workload. You can see the health. If you go to any of the application, it will show you a very nice looking graph. And do you see this plus sign, this tab sign over here? This is all the encryption it is showing, how the network is flowing. So this, if you see, this is your pod, this one pod, and the request is going outside to other pod. This is a service, and through this service, the request is getting sent over here. And the reversal is happening. I'll show you the nice looking graph. Now, if I come to the graph section, I can have some sort of animation, traffic distribution, and I can have some sort of animation done. And I can show you some security. Got stuck. What else you can view? See this. Do you see this? MTLS enabled. This MTLS means it's a network is encrypted right now.
How did you do that bit? Or does
Sorry,
that automatically come up? The
this,
MTLS bit.
yeah, so you need to have this traffic distribution. This traffic distribution is showing this flow, how this traffic is getting distributed. And this, if you want this graph and everything, this is with traffic animation. And if you want to know the security, then this is security tab. If MTLS is there or not. Now, if you see this, this is you got MTLS enabled. Now this is your HTTP request which is going in. So this is basically I'm hitting the server again and again by this command, the while loop which I'm running right now. This is a nice looking graph how the traffic, and if you want to know more traffic rates and everything, you can see how it is responding. This is the request is coming from outside world, guys. This is this while command which I'm running. Just imagine this is I'm running from outside world, and the request goes to my service Java. This is what? This is the service created for my Java app. Okay, the request goes to this pod, then the pod is communicating with the other pod. That is the place where this is encrypted, and you can see this MTLS tab enabled, and the response, you can get the response, you're getting the response back from here. This is the traffic which you are seeing. Now, workload graph, if you want to see, there are other sort of graph also. App graph, if you want to see, other sort of graph also is visible. Now this is prod namespace. If you want to know the throughput time, the response time, you can also have the throughput and the response time enabled. This is Kiali. This is one of the best tool if you want to see the network topology. Again, Kiali, which it will give you a clear understanding how your network is flowing. Now you can see the flow, how the network is flowing right now, how the request is getting flow. Once I stop this network flow will also stop, because this is a live network flow which you're seeing. Inbound traffic, you can see total traffic, success 100% success. So there's no packet getting dropped, even that you can visualize from here. Outbound traffic, there's no outbound traffic. We're not sending any traffic outside. So no outbound traffic. This is all inbound traffic. And whatever configuration, Istio configuration you have done, you can view it over here. I have not done anything right now. I'll do one of the configuration, peer authentication configuration, and show you in a bit. These are the services which is currently running. Now, do you see this graph? The request is coming to my service app, and then it goes to my Java. From here, the request is going to this Node.js app. Do you see it's encrypted with MTLS? You can see if we click on that, it goes to inbound metrics, and you can see traces also. No traces, but you can go and see traces also. If there's any error trace, you can see that error trace also. That good tool it is, guys. That's why this was not part of my course curriculum, but I thought when we are covering Istio, Kiali dashboard monitoring tool is the best tool which we can cover along with it. Understood, guys? Now, in some scenario, many of you will say, let me just stop this flow. Where it's taking up my complete compute. In some scenario, many of you will say that you have injected Istio. I don't want to enable Istio by default, because Istio was enabled by default. We should have control over it. Many of you will say that we should have control over it. Istio should not get enabled by default. How do we manage it? So there is a tool called peer authentication. Peer authentication can maintain the state of your MTLS. So if you see MTLS is enabled, so that means your traffic is getting encrypted, and if the developer or the application is not following the policies, it may not let the traffic to flow. Okay, then in some cases you may not want this MTLS to be enabled, you want to keep it disabled, or there are other state in which you want to keep the MTLS. How do you do it? So there is something called peer authentication. Istio peer authentication, it's part of Istio itself. So peer authentication defines how traffic will be tunneled. Again, I'm repeating myself. Peer authentication will be deciding how traffic may be tunneled to the sidecar. There are modes, different modes. You got strict mode. I can show you all the modes at the bottom. Okay, so where is the mode? Yeah, these are the different modes which you can select. By default, the mode right now is enabled, because of which this MTLS was set up automatically. Okay, but these are the modes you can, with the help of peer authentication, you can decide the network flow, if it should be tunneled or not. You get nset, you got disable will not have MTLS. If you go and run this and do a disable, that MTLS tab will be removed, so your flow is not encrypted post that. Permissive connection can be either be plain text or MTLS tunnel. So if you just want to allow these two things, you can have strict connection in MTLS tunnel. TLS will client certificate must be present. So this is more permissive security. If you want to put upfront, then you can use peer authentication. Peer authentication basically makes sure that your traffic will be tunneled to the sidecar. How the traffic will be tunneled, whether you want it or whether you don't want it. Istio by default, what it is doing, it is encrypting your traffic. Okay, But with this additional peer authentication, you can make sure no other traffic is. If you want to tunnel it, if you don't want to tunnel it, if you want to keep it permissive, if you want to keep it strict, it's totally up to you. Now this peer authentication is nothing but it's a CRD, that's custom resource definition, already there in your Kubernetes cluster. So if you want to view the CRDs, the command is kubectl get CRD. So you don't need to install anything extra, guys. These are some extra CRDs which is already present. So one of the CRD which we are looking for, this is the one. Okay, that's peer authentication. So I can go and simply copy this command YAML file, and I'll have something called peer auth.yaml created. This is very advanced, guys. You need to go and practice this. Then only it will start making sense. Okay. Now the name, I'll keep it as default. That's okay. Namespace, I'll just change it to prod. If I do a strict one, my flow will stop. Okay, nothing will happen. So what I'll do, I'll try the disable one. So we'll go and disable the MTLS basically. So no tunneling. I don't want any network proxy to come in between. I don't want any kind of encryption to happen. That is what my requirement is. Okay. Now I can go and run this kubectl apply -f peer kubectl get. There's nothing inside it. Now I have created this peer authentication. Let me go to Kiali again. Wait, did I create something wrong? And prod unchanged. Okay, perfect. Looks good. Now let me send the traffic again. Where's my while loop? Let's wait while the traffic is flowing. Gets to graph. We need to wait while the traffic is coming in, guys. Do you see this peer authentication default? So if you go to Istio config now, there's one configuration, peer authentication. If you go and view this, you can see peer authentication mode disabled. Okay, so whatever you did over there, it's visible now. Namespace prod graph. Do you see that tab now? The tab is gone. Let me show you the security. The security is checked, animation is checked, everything is checked. Do you see the tab, MTLS tab? Anywhere? No encryption. No encryption at all. It's a free flow now. No encryption. So we have went ahead using this peer authentication. We are now managing the tunneling part also. We are not giving it to Istio that do it by yourself. We are even managing whether we want the encryption, whether we don't want, we want some strict encryption and things like that. Those things are also getting managed by ourselves. Make sense? Anyone? Any question, doubt? What is peer authentication? It can define.
It makes sense, but I wanted to ask, where does the client certificate come from? Is it like something that's provided by the mesh, or is it, or can you use your own certificate to do the encryption?
No, so there's this encryption, MTLS encryption is a way of, this is basically works at the transport layer. Okay, so that is automatically done by this MTLS. They have the protocol, they do the encryption, and the network traffic is encrypted. You don't need to provide any additional certificate or anything as such.
Okay, good.
That is
Thank
what we have disabled using peer authentication now. So what basically it does, it is a tunnel which get created. Okay, from the tunnel, your network passes after that. So anyone trying to do any kind of EVAS dropping, they need to decrypt it. They need to pass through the tunnel first. If it is
you.
if the traffic is encrypted.
Is that like a VPN kind of? Like that's what VPN is, like a tunnel.
No, VPN basically if you want to connect to something virtual private network,
Hmm.
like you have your server kept in a backend and the backend server is through a VPN, you connect to that server. That is when you want to connect. Okay, that is mostly a VPN network you use.
Hmm.
This is for not for us. This is when you there are two pods which are communicating. Now with this command, what's happening? Okay, there's a request sent from one pod to other pod. Then there is a calculation happening on this pod. Then the response is sent back to this particular pod. So when there's an API call, so this is very important because when you deploy your application on pod and containers, there are multiple containers through which the traffic gets routed. Those containers, how the traffic is getting routed, you need to encrypt that route because if your encryption, if it's not encrypted, and the hackers can easily come and act as a middleware in between, and they can hack your application. So such things, such additional security layer which you can put at the network and the transport layer. Okay, so network layer, at the network layer we are having one extra proxy. Now with this MTLS at the transport layer also we are putting something. So additional security to your basically to your infrastructure using this peer authentication and MTLS. Okay,
Thank you.
the VPN and all is just for logging purpose. Like you have your backend server, you have enabled a VPN that only through that VPN the network should be routed to your backend server and things like that if you want to do. So at that time you will have this virtual private network added. Okay, so that was all about Istio, guys. Let me just cancel this request which is going in. Along with Istio, there are other monitoring tools which we have installed. Now basically let's go and look into monitoring first before we go and use that tool. So with Kubernetes has potential to simplify the process by deploying an application in containers and cloud, but it's doing it leaves you blind. I don't know when you deploy things on Kubernetes, there are few things which needs to be answered. What exactly happening? What resources are being utilized? All these needs to be answered. Okay, so monitoring Kubernetes cluster resource you need to monitor, node availability and health. Now over here with Kiali, we were checking the application health. Okay, but did we check whether the pods are running or not? Did we check the cluster is running or not? Did we do that? No. Did we check if the cluster resources, the RAM, CPU, what is the percentage of CPU compute has been used and utilized? Did we check? No. Kiali is not meant for that, basically, guys. Kiali is a tool which will give you a complete network topology view along with health probe and things like that. Plus, it can give you a trace route. Plus, it can give you the flow and many things. That's a very good tool for doing that things. But there are other things like at the infra level, how do you monitor stuff? If you want to have the CPU compute, if you want to know the node availability, if you want to know the pods running in, all those things. So at the infra level, what you need to do. Plus, what if there are some pods are failed? Running was a desired instance. If you want to have 10 pods, but running only 5, why? How do you check that? Pod resource usage limits, plus application availability, application health and performance. This was done with Kiali, but we need to have some more centralized tool which does all this for you. We need to have more centralized tool which does all this, because once you install your application on Kubernetes, you actually don't know what's happening in the backend. You have run they created a YAML, you deployed it, and what are the resources being utilized, you are not sure. So these all things we should know basically what's happening. So Kubernetes out of the box, if you ask me, Kubernetes out of the box has something called Kubernetes dashboard. Okay, and using this metrics server, all the telemetry data is sent to this dashboard. Okay, and you got the CA advisor and Hipster mostly for logging purpose. So they are sending this data to dashboard and you can have the dashboard visualization done. But this is not that user friendly, guys. Frankly speaking, if I go and show you the dashboard, you'll not even like it. So that's why we have got some very good tools in the market. These are Prometheus, and there are other tools, paid tools. These are free, which are open source, which you can go and start using it from day one. And Grafana. So Prometheus is basically, it will act as a middleware in between. It will capture all the data, okay, and that data will be sent to Grafana. Grafana is a very good visualization tool. Okay, Grafana is a very good visualization tool. You can do the visualization in Prometheus also, guys. I'm not denying on that, but Prometheus visualization, you will not like it that much. Grafana is altogether meant for visualization, and from there, if you want to set some alert mechanism, that if something happens, you want to send some alert to your Slack channel, to your email, to your, all this customization can be easily done with Grafana. Okay, so Prometheus again works on pull metrics. It will be pulling metrics from your application. Okay, and Prometheus will have its own data store wherein all this will get stored, and Grafana will be using PromQL. So it's a query language, and it will connect to the data store and fetch all those metrics which Prometheus has fetched. Okay, let me show you this diagram, then you'll understand. So your Prometheus will be in the center line, basically over here. Okay, then you will have your application running, which is running on your pod. For example, this is where your applications are running. Okay, I'm back. So this is your application. So what did I say? It works on pull metrics. So it will be basically pulling things using pull metrics using your application. Okay, all the data in Prometheus, there is a local data store which Prometheus will be using. So let's make it as data store, which Prometheus manages, and all the data will be stored over here. Okay, there's a local data store what Prometheus manages. Now you got your Grafana dashboard somewhere over here. Imagine you got your Grafana over here. Okay, Grafana uses PromQL. It's a query language basically, and it fetches the data. It connects to the data source of Prometheus basically, and whatever data Prometheus has it, that data will be displayed in Grafana dashboard. The data visualization, so this is the data visualization tool basically. Prometheus does all the hard work, getting you the telemetry data, getting you all the microservice data. Okay, and just because Prometheus doesn't have that good looking dashboard, a good looking guy comes in and is displaying everything for you. That's why we always use combination of Prometheus and Grafana. There are other things, there are other node exporters you can use. Basically, if by default, if you're not getting any data, then you can use node exporters. There are n number of node exporters. These are like plugins, okay, which you can use with Prometheus to connect to any application. Make sense? And then using Grafana, if you want to send some alerts, you can send alerts using Grafana. You can even use Prometheus for sending alert, guys. Not necessary. You have to stick with Grafana. This is a complete microservice setup. One tool we have seen it where the network flow, HTTP flow, your protocol flow, encryption, everything we have seen it. Now this is mostly at the infra level, your compute. It can also, it's not just infra guys, it can give you information about your application, your HTTP request, if 404 error or any HTTP error code, everything will be given over here. Okay, now let's go and see this two dashboard also while we are learning. Let me end this. Okay, let's go back. Now if I go back, there is these tools already installed. Get all hyphen istio system. Okay, we got this tool Prometheus and we got this tool Grafana. Where is Grafana? Let me make it big. Okay, we got this Grafana also. Let's go and change the node because this is by default, it comes with cluster IP. I have to change it to node pool. FNN prod, not prod, it's istio system. What I'll do, I'll go and change the to node port. Same, I'll do it with Prometheus also. I'll have to go and view this. Why exactly I'm doing this? Just because I need to access this dashboards from my local. Perfect. Now let's go and see the port. Grafana 31298. Let's go and enable this port. Let me close this Kiali. We don't need this Kiali now. Let's add this. Name it as Grafana dashboard. What is the other one? 30244. Let's wait. Name it as Prometheus dashboard. Okay, perfect. Now let's go and look into Prometheus dashboard first, then we'll see Grafana later. Let's go to the overview. Let me have this semicolon, this 30244, public IP. Perfect. You should see the Prometheus dashboard coming in a minute. Let's wait. Here we go. This is your dashboard, guys. You can see everything over here. Okay. Now, We can run all the, basically there are all the commands which I can go and execute over here. But if you want to view, there are some specific Istio, like if I go and do Istio, you can see all the requests coming in. A request in total, this one, this counter you can see. So basically I can go and execute this. This is how it looks like. It's fetching all the data now. And like if you go and look into the graph, this is how the graph looks like. That's why I said this graph is not that user friendly to know anything. That's why we always use Grafana with it. And if you want to have some CPU counter, see this container CPU, spec, user second, all this counter, load average 10 second. See this, you can also have all, whatever you want, everything, all data will be present over here. There's no load as if now. If you see, it's completely blank line. There's no load because that nothing is happening right now, correct, on my system. If I run the while loop, you will see this node graph moving. Okay, this is one of the example. Now, if you want to see, this got stuck. HTTP counter, you can also view the HTTP counter. It's slow because it's taking good amount of time. So you can go and see HTTP counters also. Envoy, so we got Envoy proxy running in. So you can have HTTP counter also. There are multiple HTTP counter, not just this. You can have kubelet also. Jaeger, there's so many things running, guys. So it's better to view it from Grafana side. That will make more sense. What is the port number for Grafana? It's 31298. You can have 31298. This will make more sense. Here we go. You got Grafana up and running with Istio, because we have installed everything with Istio. We got some dashboards already pre-created. So if you can go, you can browse the dashboards. See, these are Istio dashboards. So this is for control plane dashboard. If you want to check the control plane, if you want to check the mesh dashboard, if you want to check the workload, so everything is there. So like for example, if I go and see the control plane, see, do you see the CPU utilization, memory? It is taking data. The data source is Prometheus only, guys. Nothing different. It is taking the same set of data which we were trying to visualize over here. Now see the difference. That's why we use Grafana. Okay. Now this is one of the dashboard. If you want to use some of the dashboard, like performance dashboard, you can see the vCPU, memory data rates, the bytes and everything. So this is a good looking dashboard, proxy use, resource use. This is in a real time at the production level based on your requirement. You can go and use it. Now this is, I'm showing you some pre-created dashboards. Now if you want to create your own dashboard, can we do it? Yes, definitely. Why not? You can see the workload also, inbound workload. There's nothing right now because we have stopped the traffic. If I start the traffic, you can see all these start popping up. Incoming success rate, what we were seeing in the Kiali, you can same thing, you can see it with the visualization. Now this is basically we are using pre-created dashboard. Now if you want to have your own dashboard created, go and create a dashboard. Name the dashboard anything, whatever you want. And now you can say, go and add the queries, whichever query pattern you want. Whatever query option you want, you can go and add those queries over here. You can go and look into what query you want, what metrics you want. You can select those metrics, like you want aggregator, API. So there are so many metrics, guys. Depending upon your requirement, what exactly you're looking for, you can go and select those metrics. Okay. You can go and select whichever metrics you want. For example, let's say this aggregate count, run this query. So you're getting this aggregate count right now. So this way you can start adding all those things for yourself, and you can create a own dashboard for yourself based on your requirement, what exactly you're looking for, what do you want to search for, all those things. Basic information. So this is your dashboard. Basic information like your workload and everything, it's already given over here. These things are already given over here. Your general workload, it's already given over here. This is your application app Java, incoming request, and all the things are given. There's nothing, no request, because there's no traffic coming in. There are other things already given over here. Okay, alert mechanism, as I said, you can even set up an alert. You can set up an alert and you can start sending alert mechanism depending upon, like if the CPU is more than 80, memory, if there are more 404 error, then if there are more than 10 404 error, then the alert needs to be sent to the developers and teams like that. You can even do that. You can set up your own alert mechanism over here. So Grafana is only a visualization tool. Grafana does not have anything of its own. Grafana will be using sources, like one of the source which I have used, Prometheus as a source, and I'm displaying things on Grafana. Grafana can be plugged with multiple other sources. It can also be plugged with other sources, other monitoring tool which is fetching telemetry data. You can also integrate Grafana with Kibana and all, and you can have those telemetry data displayed on Grafana dashboard. Even that is possible. So Grafana has a very big possibility. So the only thing is Grafana is a data visualization tool, nothing else. You need to provide the source of data. Okay, the way we have given the Prometheus source of data, same way you need to provide the source of data. So this is all about monitoring tool, microservice monitoring, guys. Go and play around with these tools. And for playing with Prometheus, have some more config to add it to your VM, because this 2 GB and 4 will not let you work with Prometheus easily, because Prometheus on a real time it's fetching data from your applications and from your VM. So it should have some good configuration for running Prometheus. So that's why we always have this Prometheus running separately and sending the data, telemetry data, to Prometheus directly. That is the setup what we usually do. Okay, that's it for me. Anyone has any question, please do let me know before we wind up the call and wind up the session. The only thing is remaining, if you guys are practicing, if you want interview session. So on Monday I can have mock interview drill wherein I'll be asking questions and you need to answer it. And later I'll give you the solution. That's a different story. So I'll be giving you the solutions as well. But from the course perspective, the complete course topics are covered. In fact, I have covered more. So whatever is there in the course, all those are covered, not 100%, more than 100%. That's what we have already covered. If there's anything is missing, if anything else you want me to cover, please do let me know. And later I can have doubt solving sessions, guys. So it's not that we are done and dusted. I can even have doubt solving session, but doubt solving sessions, you guys should come as a group. I'd see very less audience in this batch. I don't know why. I got we already had less audience in this batch. That's a different thing. But yeah, so whatever audience, at least 2-3 people are coming together and they have any sort of doubt. And if you want me to have some doubt solving session, please inform me in advance so that I can keep some date. Okay. And mock interview drill, that is the topic I want to cover. I'm planning for Monday, if you guys are comfortable, because you are the only guys who joins very frequently. So if you guys are comfortable, or if you want to practice this first, go through all the services what we have covered, then you want to have the mock drill, it's up to you. But at least 1 or 2 day prior, inform me on WhatsApp that we need to have this session. I can go and carry those sessions for you. I can have mock drill done. At the same time, we can also have doubt solving sessions together. So whichever way you like, because from the course perspective, we are all done.
I have a quick question about your method of deployment today. I was wondering why you didn't use Helm charts to do any of your deployments. 1, 2, it's related. Can we use Helm to install ETL?
Okay, that's the first question. What's the second one? That's the only question, Adi? Okay, so yeah, very good question.
Yes.
Can we do things through Helm chart? Yes, you have complete package of Istio. So Istio can be like installed multiple ways. One of the ways, we went to the Istio, we downloaded the Istio binaries, we unzip the binary, we have installed Istio. That is the one way. Second, can we integrate Istio and download Istio using Helm? The answer is yes. If you go to the Helm repository images website where the packages are, if you look for Istio, you will get n number of packages which will help you set up Istio using Helm as well. So yes, Helm, just add the Bitnami repo, do a Helm install Istio, whatever the package name is, and you will have Istio up and running in your Kubernetes cluster by one single command. If you want to do customization to Istio, then you can go and amend the value files and you can do things. You can have the chart downloaded if you don't want to run it directly. Chart downloaded, make your changes and run it. So yes, the answer is yes, you can do it with Helm very easily. Helm has Istio packages. In fact, if you go to the Helm website, it will guide you. Istio is installation with Helm. You should have this. Helm itself will guide you. You should have the official website. What are the prerequisite? It is asking, see this repo. You can have Helm install. Adding this repo, this is a different source of chart update, and then it is asking you to create a different namespace, Istio system. It does the exact same thing what we did using the binaries, and now everything will be installed. The only difference is now you are doing it through Helm. See, it's a straightforward steps are given over here. So if you know the tool, if you know the importance of the tool, now there's no stopping, guys. You can go and do whatever. There are n number of things, n number of possibilities in DevOps which you can go and do it. Now you have the base clear. Now see, you know how the build happens, how the release happens, how this Kubernetes works, how this Docker works, what is Istio, what is Helm. Now there are n number of possibilities. You can combine everything together. You can have this created. Now we have installed the monitoring tool with Istio. Can we do it separately? Yes, why not? You can have a separate server created for Prometheus. Okay, so there are n number of possibilities which you can go and explore. DevOps is not a small world, it's a very big world, and learning never stops. I still learn today. Today also I spend my 1 hour daily just for learning, though I have taught more than 1000 students till now. Hopefully that makes sense, Adi.
Yes, that was very helpful. Thank you.
No problem. Anyone else? Any other doubt? Not just related to the course. Any generic doubt also? It's totally welcome. So now you guys come up. Yeah, Victoria. Anything?
I was just gonna say, is it possible to give us some time? I don't know what everyone else's options are, but is it possible to give us some time to practice before the
Yes.
interview?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I want that because I don't want the interview should be one way that I'm asking questions and later I'm answering those questions. I don't want that one way track. So the interview will be all practical questions, guys. So starting from very basic, like starting Git, Azure DevOps, Docker, Terraform. So I'll be covering everything, whatever tools I have covered, Istio, Helm, Kubernetes, all this will be there. I want you to go and practice at least, if I'm asking question, at least 50% of answers I'm getting, then I can be rest assured that you can go and crack interviews in the real world, because I'll be very those questions will be easy, but it will be based in scenario. It will be wrapped in scenario. So you need to understand what those questions are first, then you need to answer it. Okay. So yeah, if you, that is something I want. If you guys want to go and practice this, take a week of time and inform me in the group, the ADP group which is there, or if you want to inform me personally, even that is okay for me. I can go and set up a call. It's around the same time. I don't have any session now around the same time. If you want, I can have the call setup done for you guys, and we can have a 1-2 hour session wherein we can do the doubt solving and we can do the mock drill also. So yeah, whatever you say. If you want to keep it on Monday, I can do it that way also. But if you want to go and practice, know yourself first, then come back, then that will be more helpful. That is what I think.
Yeah, I'm in line with Victoria's request. If we can get maybe a week to just do like a revision
Mhm.
and then come back, and that way we can
Perfect.
probably answer your questions. And
Perfect.
I also want to ask the interview mock section, is it going to be only on are we going to be is the question going to be only on the microservices, or we are gonna the questions are gonna cover the whole?
No, this is for the complete course.
the-
Yeah, so this is not just microservice, because if you want to crack DevOps, you need to know the complete 360 view. So starting with Git, I'll be going with Git, Azure DevOps, Terraform, Docker, CI/CD pipeline, everything. Whatever we have covered in this course, everything will be covered. I may ask some network related questions also. It's okay if you answer it, that's okay. But later I'll be giving the solutions also. I may ask you how this microservice CI/CD works. So there are many things, many questions which I'll be asking. So try your best, see if you can answer those. If not, I'll give those solutions to you, because this is what you in real time when you start giving interview, this is what they will ask. Now the days are gone that they will ask you what is Istio, what is Helm, what is Kubernetes. No, that days are gone. What is Git? Don't expect such easy questions nowadays. They will be very rude in the market, and it is all scenario. So whatever scenario challenges they are facing, they will give it to you, even though they don't know it. Okay, so that is how the world works now. So if you get some non-techie guy, non-DevOps engineer guy, then he may go on Google and search some question and give it to you. But if you're finding someone like me, definitely not a Google question. It will definitely from scenario and those questions. So that's why I've created a complete DAC, a questionnaire DAC, which I'll be sharing later also with you guys. I'll be sharing that PPTs also, so that you can go through it. Not before that, but once the mock drill is done, I can share that with you guys. Okay, so let's meet up after a week. I'll wait for your wait for you guys to come back to me asking me for a mock drill. You can ask me directly on WhatsApp. You can ask me in the group. You can drop an email, whichever way you like. You guys can ask me. I'll reach out to Velexi team. They can set up a call for us. For now, we are done with the course. And if there is any doubt solving, any drill, whatever you want, please do let me know. I can not just one session, guys. I can have a couple of sessions for you all.
Can we just like confirm that it's next week Monday now rather than, because I don't know, the group is not very active.
Correct. You can do one thing, Victoria. You
Mm.
can, in the next week, in between, just drop an email that Rohit, we need to have a mock drill session and next Monday, and just check with if anyone wants to join. That's it. That is more than enough for me. I will just inform Velexi team to get me the slot so that I can conduct the mock drill. So even 3 of you guys are joining in, that is more than enough for me. I'll go and conduct that session for you guys. Don't worry, Victoria. Just make sure drop a message in the group so that others are informed. I don't want to
Yeah.
create an impression that I have had some separate session for you guys. I'm just asking you to drop a message just to others in the group. They don't come back to me asking that the session was not conducted for us. So others are
Okay.
informed. That's why.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you for joining. Hope to see you guys again. Bye bye.